everybody. Happy Saturday evening. I'm Erin. I'll be guiding you through our yin sequence tonight. We'll be using our block and blanket like usual. And we are going to be focusing on doing some releasing for the lower back. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and get started on our backs, and we'll begin in Constructive Rest Pose, which, as you come to your back, you'll bend the knees and set the soles of the feet wide out towards the outer edges of the mat. And then just allow the legs to fall in. These can rest against one another. From here, allowing the arms to fall wherever feels natural. Somewhere on the floor, body. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. Starting to turn awareness and attention inwards. Maybe the first time you've done this today. Closed out the outside world and really just come into your own body, come into your breath. So allowing yourself some space and time to do that. Noticing what the earth feels like underneath you. Feeling the connection between your body and your mat or the floor. And bring the attention to the breath. Feeling it move in and out the physical body as you inhale and exhale. Noticing how the belly rises and falls. Maybe starting to direct that breath somewhere that you feel tension or tightness. Creating a gentle invitation to create some more space, openness, softness in those places. After next inhale, bring the palms of the hands to cup over the eyes. And then exhaling to blink eyes open, remove the hands. We'll send left leg long on the mat and draw the right knee in towards the chest. And interlace fingers around that shin or knee. And just hug that leg in towards the upper body. Maybe playing around with bringing the knee out wider or in closer towards the midline of the body. Noticing how that changes the sensation in that right hip. Keeping that left leg active, energetically pressing that knee and shin down into the floor. Take one more inhale to squeeze right leg in. And then exhale to draw right knee over to the left, finding a twist. And here you might want to put some kind of prop underneath the right knee so that you can keep shoulders connected to the floor. Right arm can release long out to a T. Finding some full deep breaths. Maybe taking gaze over towards the right hand. And next inhale, we'll bring the right leg back to center. And then exhale, keeping that right leg bent. We'll let the leg fall out to the right, opening the hip out to the side of the mat. Maybe using the weight of your right arm to pull down on that knee and thigh. Opening the muscles of the inner right hip. Using an inhale to bring right leg back to center, and then exhale to release it long. Next inhale, left knee draws in towards the chest, interlacing fingers around that shin, and giving it a squeeze. Playing around with where you position that knee. You're finding a spot that feels good or feels particularly tight. You could use a little bit of release. Holding it there. keeping the right leg active, pressing into the ground. One more inhale here. And then exhale to draw left knee over into a twist. Setting up your prop. You want to use one. Feeling the belly expand and contract with each breath. Next inhale, left knee moves through center. And then exhale to drop left knee out to the left. Opening out the inner hip and your thigh muscles. Next inhale, left knee comes back to center. Exhale to release it long. Inhale, we'll take a full body stretch. Reaching overhead with arms. And then exhale to draw knees into chest, curling up into a little ball. And then rolling over to either side. Press up to a comfortable seat. Getting any prop set up. Your blanket. Sit on. And once you are ready, we'll start just by taking some slow dynamic twists. One arm behind us, crossing the other arm over to opposite knee. Moving from one side to the other. Feeling that twist throughout the whole length of the spine. And the sacrum all the way up to the base of the skull. The next time you're twisted over to the right, we'll pause and hold here. Keeping left fingertips or palm planted behind you. exhales to twist a little bit deeper. And do one more full breath on this side. Inhaling to release back to center. And exhaling to twist over to the left, setting up your arms, finding that length and tall seat. Exhaling to sink into the twist. And in your last inhale, exhale. And inhaling, come back to center. Cross the right shin, stack it on top of the left, finding a fire log shape with the legs, or if it's accessible for you, stacking the knees on top of one another for shoe base. Whatever shape you've chosen, making sure you can find some length throughout the spine here. So if that means taking a more open shape with the knees, that's totally fine. Taking an inhale to lift to the chest, shoulders, and exhale to start to hinge forward, eventually rounding the shoulders over the legs. An option here to use your block, support the head, or just allow it to hang heavy, letting the full weight of the upper body sink into those hips. Taking one more full breath. Grounding the palms and feeling to press back up to a seat. Cross the legs and shake them out a little bit. Before setting up for your second side. This time with the left leg on top. And inhaling to find some length through the spine and then exhaling. Fold forward. Noticing whether this feels different than the first side. Sometimes one side of our body is tighter than the other. You don't necessarily notice until you do a posture or stretch. Using the breath to invite in, release, letting go. Last inhale, exhale, planting the hands, making your way back up to a seat. Release the legs out long, shaking them out. And as you're ready, making your way forward to hands and knees. Tabletop. Stacking everything, beginning with a neutral spine. With an inhale, drop belly. The heart come forward, lift the gaze. And exhale to curl the tailbone, round the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. taking some rounds of cat-cow at your own pace. Maybe eventually bringing in any other movements that would feel good, kind of making this your own. Eventually meeting back in neutral. We'll tuck the toes, send the hips up high, and then just walk hands and feet in towards one another until you're in a forward fold, letting the upper body dangle over the legs, and keeping a nice bend in the knees so that the belly can rest on the thighs. Taking some sways side to side, shaking out the head, nodding it yes, shaking it back and forth no. And then crossing the forearms, taking opposite elbows and opposite hands, the ragdoll. And eventually slowing down your movement or finding stillness. And switching the grip on your hands. Sending the hips a little bit higher with each exhale. And then releasing hands back to the floor. We'll step feet back, drop knees to the mat, making them wide. Bringing big toes together to touch and sitting the hips back for child's pose. Grounding the forehead. Letting the belly sink towards the earth. Moving to palms over towards the right side of your mat. Reaching through fingertips, finding some length to the left side of the body, all the way down to that left hip. Feeling the left side of the low back open up. Noticing if there's anywhere you're holding onto tension. Seeing if you can let that go. Next inhale, we'll walk hands back to center. And then exhale over to the left, finding that side body stretch on the other side. Really feeling it all the way down the back. So allowing everything to be heavy. Taking your next inhale, walk back to center, exhale, child's pose, and then inhale to slither forward onto the belly. Your legs out long behind you, and propping up on the forearms. The Sphinx pose. And here you can either shine the heart forward between the shoulders, keeping the chin lifted, or you can grab your block and place it right under the forehead to get some more restorative shape. And keeping us like tucked to the tailbone, maybe activating some of those muscles in the core if you need to take some of the weight out of the low back. Finding another 2 breaths in Sphinx, taking your block out from underneath your forehead if you decided to use it. And with an exhale, letting the shoulders and head come to the floor, stacking hands or forearms, just allowing the forehead to rest on them for a few breaths. Crocodile pose, relaxing the lower body. Heels can drop out towards the outer edges of the mat. And eventually we'll uncross the arms and roll onto our backs. Once you're here, bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees fall out wide. Setting up Supta Baddha Konasana. And choosing where the arms go. Maybe they fall alongside the upper body. Rest on the belly, chest, or maybe come up overhead. You're ready to let the eyes fall closed. I invite you to do so. Letting the breath move freely. You can stay in your Supta Baddha Konasana if you would like. But if there's any last shapes or movements you want to take in your practice today, have the next several breaths to move through whatever your body might be calling for. Or if you're ready to come into your final Shavasana, you can begin moving towards that. If you want to set up any props to be comfortable, covering yourself with a blanket or propping up your knees, turning down the lights. Eventually coming into stillness. And a shape where you can completely relaxed. Just be on your mat, be held up by the earth underneath you. Feel your breath move through the body through the last few minutes of your practice. bring some movement and fingers and toes. Rocking the head and neck from side to side, rolling out wrists and ankles. Eventually, using an inhale to find that full body stretch one more time. And exhaling to curl up to one side or the other. Taking a few breaths to transition to a comfortable seat. Keeping the eyes closed. Great. Bring thumbs to heart center. Taking a moment to be grateful for practice and our ability to take some time out of our day and our week for it. Inhaling thumbs to third eye center. Acknowledging the light and the teacher in all of us. Namaste. Everybody have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you next Saturday.